SmackDown star has been scrapped due to Backstage Heat. We have new Ring of Honor matches being added to Death Before Dishonor, and an ex-WWE star has been teased on AEW Rampage. Stay tuned for the news. So we're back for another news video, and it's not Sam with me, it's Adam. Adam's here. He was up. He pulled up one heck of a shift last night, covering all the biggest news. I mean, it's quite a...
Some stuff kicked off. You might have heard about it. I don't know. I can't remember. Top of my head.
But there's even more news on this Saturday. Max Dupree is the talk of the town at the moment. Maximum Male Models, of course, debuted on SmackDown a few weeks ago, and I've been really enjoying them. I've really enjoyed the stuff.
I think they're good value.
They're really good.
It's just a bit of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, and it's given a bit of character to two wrestlers who maybe didn't have that much of a character.
Yeah.
However, the leader is seemingly gone. According to PW Torch, they revealed that according to their sources, Dupree has rubbed people the wrong way backstage, wasn't fitting in. The decision to remove Dupree from the group was made a couple of weeks ago by Vince McMahon, and then Maxine Dupree was revealed.
Made their debut. Yeah. So last week, Max Dupree was like, "My sister's going to be coming along and joining us." So it turns out it's not joining, it's replacing. So Maxine Dupree debuted last night, the formerly known as Sophia Cromwell from NXT 2.0. She was paired with Von Wagner and the Robert Stone brand recently. It's kind of it's a big NXT call up for her. She's not really been wrestling on NXT. I don't think she's actually had a match on NXT. So like the fact that they've called her up in this spot, it's an interesting choice.
I don't know a great deal about her. The promo last night was well delivered, but I mean, one of the strongest things about the former Eli Drake is his promo work.
Right.
I'm not like a massive fan of Eli Drake, LA Knight, whatever you want to call him, but I think he's a very good talker.
Yes.
And where he's older than the other members in the group, he could have been the mouthpiece and they could have done the majority of the in-ring work. Now they're just, I think, going to be a tag team who get lost in the shuffle and they'll be gone within 6 months.
He was kind of the thing that made them stand out a little bit more, in the fact that he is so good on the mic, and that is his main draw. Yeah, it has been in a way.
What do you make of the...
He sold it really well the past few weeks.
What do you make of the Backstage Heat stuff, rubbing people the wrong way?
I feel maybe it could be the fact that he's had a very long career, and he's come in with this spot, and he's got it over. Like it's over with the crowd. It's maybe just a case of he just clashes with the people backstage, and they're maybe thinking he's a bit too big for his boots because he knows he's that good.
Yeah, plans subject to change more than ever right now, obviously. Yeah. And with Triple H coming in as EVP of Talent Relations, he's a big fan of his work. He's the guy that signed him originally, right?
Right, and it's really interesting because the decision was made to remove Dupree last week, and that came from Vince McMahon himself, who is now, if you go back and watch the previous videos we've done today, he's not in charge anymore.
I just hope they don't lose him, because I think LA Knight. So I keep calling him LA Knight. I'm just used to it. Max Dupree. I think he's got a lot to give. So it'll be interesting to see. But last night certainly hints that he's not going to be around.
But we're moving on to the another thing on SmackDown. We're going to crown a new #1 contenders for the Undisputed Universal Championship, or Undisputed WWE Universal is the Uwu belt.
The Uwu belt.
The Uwu belt.
The belts.
The belts. It's going to be Drew McIntyre facing off against Sheamus in the first ever, I put that in quotations, first ever Shillelagh match, because I'm pretty sure Finley's had a Shillelagh match at some point.
Certainly use them. It's certainly the first ever Irish Donnybrook match, which is what they referred to it last night. And he unveiled a load of shillelaghs. Drew McIntyre cut through one with his big sword.
His big, massive sword.
And grand. I mean, they've got so much history together. I think it's going to be a really, really strong match. I think there's a very predictable winner of that match.
Yeah.
Either it goes DQ and then it happens at SummerSlam, but Drew's coming out on top.
Yes.
And then it's happening at Clash at the Castle, right?
I feel like the match should be placed on SummerSlam, though, rather than being on SmackDown next week.
I think that's what they'll do.
You think they'll push it on there?
I don't think there's going to be a conclusive ending. Then again, I don't know the rules of an Irish Donnybrook match. Are there DQs?
No DQs.
You would assume not. Maybe it's one of those matches where you're allowed to use the weapon that is named, but if you use a different weapon, then that's not okay.
The worst is the stairs match.
The stairs match.
That's the highlight of those match types. But yeah, whoever wins will go on Clash at the Castle in September at the premium live event, no longer pay-per-views, which I'm excited for it. I'm hoping on my boy Drew. You know, got to back the Scottish Blue.
I don't want to see it, mate.
You don't want to see it?
No, I don't get me wrong. I'm sort of gagging for bloody Roman to drop the belt or the belts. I just don't want it to be Drew. He's lost something for me. I think you wait until Cody's back, or and this is probably not going to happen. I'd love Bray to take one if he comes back.
Bray or Cody.
I just don't want it to be Drew. He's just lost that shine for me.
Cody makes the logical sense, but of course he's currently injured, and we've actually got some insight. Cody gave some insight into the now very famous reveal of the torn peg, which made, I think, everyone sort of cringe and go, oh, when he revealed it at Hell in a Cell.
Mate, I was watching it, streaming it, and I was like, how do I react to this? Like, because I at the time, I was like, I didn't know the medical specifics. A lot of that's come out since, but I was just thinking, like, is this wise? Is this going to happen? It turns out it was so bollocks. It couldn't be any more bollocks. So
it was all good. He can't hurt himself anymore. But he gave an update on his current injury status, saying, I want to say good, but misleading. So the fact that it's getting better. He said something about how the fact that it can't get any worse, but after 2 weeks you feel good, but it's not fixed.
Yeah.
So this injury will last him quite a wee while, but he revealed how the injury reveal came about. Nobody backstage had seen it apart from Vince McMahon, and he was going to take his robe off for the camera, as in like, he came out onto the stage, revealed the injury, so you've got the big moment, but they decided to wait until they were in the ring. He said, I was going to take my robe off for the cameras, and then the voice of God, as you call it, whoever the head of production is in that moment, I remember saying, don't. And Stu, the camera operator, we love Stu, said that we're just going to save it for the show. Very few people had actually seen it and how bad it was, and through the day it was getting worse and worse because it was so much blood under my skin.
They made the right decision there because the reveal was so unbelievably effective. And had they shown that prior to the match, it would have lost that big moment. That became part of the match. That was part of the story being told within the match. So that was the right time to do it.
Especially if they'd done it on social media, I think that would have been a real waste. Get the moment. Sure. WWE likes making moments, and that was one of their big moments. We're moving over to the AEW side of things for this next story, because Arya Daivari, it looks like he's going to AEW. He was recently released or let go from WWE again. He was working as a trial producer. He was quite recently actually appeared in AEW and WWE in the same week. He was on Dark and he produced SmackDown, which is mad. It's the modern day Rick Rude is Arya Daivari, but there was a teaser last night. What was it, Adam?
It was just basically a little teaser came up, flashed his name up. Everybody's very excited for him, but not that many people are excited because everybody was talking about Vince. I like him. I like his work. I think that's good. It's another signing, and in all honesty, he's probably not going to do massive things in AEW, but he's a very capable pair of hands, isn't he? He's good at what he does. So
I wouldn't be surprised to see him maybe do some stuff in Ring of Honor once that sort of continues to get back in the swing of things. And speaking of Ring of Honor, we have a couple new matches added to tonight's Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. It was announced on AEW Rampage that Brian Cage will be in action to team with Gates of Agony to face Tony Deppen, Alex Zane, and Blake Christian. Alongside it was announced that Shinobi Shadow Squad will face Trust Busters. Can't speak. Trust Busters and Colt Cabana will face Anthony Henry. Now, this is quite a big show for Ring of Honor. Jonathan Gresham's defending his ROH World title against Claudio Castagnoli. Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal for the World Television Championship. And finally, the match that I'm most excited for, FTR versus the Briscoes in a 2 out of 3 falls match. It's going to be so good.
There's a lot of good matches. There's a lot of strong talent on there. I think that's a really strong start for the company, and some names there that I'm fairly unfamiliar with. Claudio Castagnoli.
Never heard of that.
No, there's some people on the card who I've heard great things about, so I'm looking forward to watching.
Looking forward to it. I think we're covering it on the website. Jack Atkins will be covering you live results of it, so stay tuned to cultaholic.com for that. We've got it's been a busy day, Adam. Have we got any big content coming up that you want to plug?
We got 2 more videos today on top of this third news video. I'm sure you can understand why. So just keep your eyes on the channel, and we'll be back with more content, heaps more content over the weekend.
See you later.